Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films and a hastily constructed overlay. This will hopefully change by next week. I'm Sin, your executive producer here. I want to thank you all for tuning in, particularly our $25 tier supporters on our Patreon page over at patreon.com/FSFilms. Those being Javian Alexander, L, Cat Waterflame, and Samantha Bates, without whom we would able to do as much of the things we do now. Thank you very much for your support over the years, and if you're watching live, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. There was no transition. We just cut right to it. Again, this will hopefully look different. I'm going to be working on it throughout the stream.
Yep. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory Under the Steel Sky. I'm William, or Shawnee, and I'll be your game master for this campaign set within the realms of the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, before we get rolling and I introduce our player characters, I wanted to say a few things about the campaign we're about to be engaging in. The Warhammer settings, both fantasy and 40k, have existed for a very long time, and they're both massive and sprawling and have a lot of preconceptions that have sort of become part of their reputations, both for people who have only heard of them and for a lot of people who are deeply engrossed in them. So I want to establish some things. The 40k setting is very dark and gloomy and full of tragedy. It is the origin of the term grimdark. For a lot of people, the public perception of 40k is that it's a depressing place where nothing nice happens and there are no good people. And that perception is definitely backed up by a lot of what people see out of it. The action is epic, the gore is gratuitous, and the people are often jerks at best or complete monsters at worst. As a war game, that does its job, and it doesn't really need to look much deeper than that, which shapes a lot of people's ideas of what the setting is. You see giant space marines fighting demons, and you see orcs, and you catch a tagline of, "In the grim darkness of the far future, there was only war." And you got a pretty solid idea what you're in for. But there's a lot more to the setting than that, which is what I'm hoping to explore here. As a storytelling tool, 40k is at its best when all of that grim darkness is used to surround a light that it makes shine that much brighter by comparison. There's a reason why, as 40k fans, so many of us love the Salamanders, or feel for the Lamenters, or proudly exclaim Cadia stands long after its destruction. In all of the grimdark and all of the depressing bleakness, these bright spots stand out because 40k is excellent at delivering the message that no matter how bleak things might seem, there is always some goodness in the world. And no matter how outnumbered it might be or how hopeless the fight might look, it is always worth fighting, even if it's just to see another day in spite of it all. And that's the kind of story I'm hoping to tell with all these lovely players who are here with me. So over the course of this campaign, I, as the narrator, and a lot of my characters are going to say a lot of things and express a lot of shitty, bleak opinions about humanity and the world around these player characters. My hope is that the story will do an effective job at showing how they're wrong, or even if they are right, how it's still worthwhile to fight against those outlooks. I never want to make my players more uncomfortable than they're willing to be, and I trust them to help me out if I push a little too hard in expressing the darkness around them. If you as a viewer feel like any of these situations are a little too harsh, please feel free to take a break and come back at your own pace. Above all else, this is a story and one that I hope everyone here can enjoy. So with that said, let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with Jack.
Hey everybody, my name is Jack. I'll be playing one tech adept, Aristarchus Dactyl of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'll be playing Tina, an orc.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I am playing Blair Hart, a human ganger scum.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Remy Mera, who is human. Yeah, all of that Holly just said.
Yeah.
Same that stuff.
And Sen.
Then I'm playing Ceres Artinos, an inquisitorial acolyte.
And joining us for the first time on Wednesdays, we have Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm usually a GM on Monday nights. I am going to be playing Loroel Fire, an Eldari Corsair.
So, let's dive right into it because we're running a little later than usual, but let's try and get as much as we can in our session tonight. So, our camera begins in a room that smells strongly of antiseptic and disinfectant. A clean, as much as it can be kept, operating theater with several different tables set out with various tools and equipment. And standing in the center is a lone figure in a bright sky blue robe, surrounded by a small flock of servo skulls, as one of them beeps for a moment, and a feminine voice plays over a Vox speaker. Aristarchus, you have 2 more patients coming in, a couple of gangers up from the sump. See what you can do for them. And a pair of
Brought you, Magus.
and a pair of medical servitors begin to wheel in a pair of humans. These are your last patients for the day. After you finish working on these, you're done for the evening. The medical servitors are constructs, humanoid amalgamations of vat-grown clone flesh and machine that is basically the humanoid shape of a torso attached to a gurney with the set of wheels in the bottom that the servitor controls, wheeling in a pair of human victims. Aristarchus, what does the tech adept who is going to be working on them look like?
Aristarchus has 2 green lenses over his eyes at first glance. They're a little offset until you realize that he's actually wearing a monocle and the other eye has been entirely replaced in the socket. And he's got stark white hair that's just swept back over his head. And as he bends over these 2 to begin his diagnostic and evaluation, both of his hands, gloved, of course, are delicately beginning to pull back in order to show what's underneath that he can utilize in his evaluation. And then a third limb kind of snakes out over his shoulder with a number of instruments extruding from the end. He's got a augmentically attached appendage that he utilizes for his Medicae practice. And the robes are well kept, fairly neatly tailored. Some of the Mechanicus go for the more sort of flowing, imposing kind of cut. Aristarchus tends to prefer things that don't get in the way and don't get risked being dragged through somebody's body cavity or tangled up in other tools and mechanisms. So his stuff is pretty tightly tailored and cut to fit his very slim body. This man does not pack much in the way of muscle. But he's got a number of tools and other a data slate and a combi tool hanging off of his belt, just in case something comes through that needs a little bit more of a tech adjustment than a biological one.
And as you look over these 2 injured gangers, you don't recognize the male. However, the female of the pair, you recognize their outfit and attire as that of one of the Hostile Hearts gang. One of the gang of one individual, Blair Hart, who you've been known to have an association with in the past, and who occasionally has her people sent to you for specific treatment. The other one looks to be a random ganger up from the sump who got caught up in something bigger than he probably is worth. Both of them appear to be dangerously injured, but not complexly. It looks like they're in life-threatening status, but the medical work should not be too difficult to correct.
He'll definitely get started on treatment as soon as possible, while also, just from his own curiosity, trying to see if he can sort of piece together what these 2 got wrapped up in that put them in this state.
So as you're looking around, it looks like they've been in a firefight. Most of their injuries appear to be from bullet wounds and a couple of knife slashes. But the thing that stands out most is on the ganger that you do not recognize. There is what appears to have been a scalded brand in the back of their shoulder. This appears to have been not related to the fight itself, but it's some kind of unique designation that stands out from everything else about them. They have this odd rune emblazoned on their left shoulder, which appears to be composed of a pair of curving sickle-like shapes connected by a single crossbar. That seems to be not familiar to you in any regard, but speaks of some kind of odder organization. That kind of branding tends to be unusual for typical gangs.
He'll wave over to the closest servo skull. Yorick, take a scan of that, send it to my data slate, would you?
And while you work on that,
And just dig in on fixing these two, yeah.
and while you get to work on that, the camera shifts to a down Hive bar, a little bit out of the under Hive, but still very low in the city, where a very obviously out of place individual is sitting very nervously. What would someone who normally is trying very hard to not look like they are who they are. It's very easy to tell when someone is coming down from the upper Hive because they look way too clean. This individual, this man is nervous and jittery and trying very hard not to be known that he has come down here, especially to a bar that is known to be adjacent to a black market obscura den. And the bodyguard standing directly over their shoulder with her auto gun constantly at the ready certainly does not make them stand out any less. But they look up and seem at least immediately relieved when the person they've actually come here to meet for their fix begins to walk in. Remy, what do they see?
Give me like 30 seconds.
All right, well, we'll come.
Yes, please. Yeah, go to somebody else.
We'll come back to that in just a
Dynamite
moment.
ended 15 minutes ago.
That's fine. Come back to them in just a minute. At a different bar, further down, actually in the Underhive, closer to Cannon Square, one of the popular tourist traps of the city, if there could be such a thing to be said. Another door kicks open, but much less friendly, as an individual walks in with another person tied up in a rope, dragged behind them, kicking and screaming. A bounty being brought in as the tender of the bar looks over, finishes cleaning the glass they were working on, and sets it down. Well, I wasn't expecting to see you back so soon, Blair, says the woman behind the bar. Wow, that was relatively quick. Who is bringing in this bounty, Miss Blair? What do they look like? What do you look like?
She's of average height. She's about 5'8". She's very muscular upper torso, very curvy build to her. She has long purple hair pulled back into a ponytail with blue highlights. And she has a sword at her side and a large auto gun in her other arm. And she wears a lot of blacks and reds with a scar across her left shoulder, and her logo, a heart with two rifles overlapping at her side.
You walk in and just flop the captured bounty onto a bar stool. The barkeeper looks down at him. Well, I wish I could give you better work than just catching tab jumpers, but at the very least, she says as she reaches down into a bag, into under the counter and pulls out a bag and sets it on the table. This should be enough thrones to keep you and your gang in food for the rest of the month. So, at the very least.
Thank you. Next time, please try to give me a challenge.
I'll do my best. But at the very least, oh, well, looks like one of yours is coming around. As Talia begins to run in, looking for you. Blair, you're going to want to come quick.
What happened?
Apparently Yaz got in some kind of firefight. They've already brought him up to the Medicaid, but you're probably going to want to come check on her.
All right, let's go.
Come on. And as the two of you leave. Yep, Jeremy.
Yes, I'm good.
All right, so now we pan back again as
So-
this individual looking antsy looks up as their contact walks in. What do
Yes.
they see?
So Remy is fairly short, 5'8", maybe. The first thing that you probably really notice about him is his shirt. It's impossible not to notice it. It is the loudest thing about him. It is like a purple dress shirt with this white or like yellow and violet floral pattern over it. That you can see even over the sort of long coat that he's got on. He has a tie that is just a little bit like a little bit of that, it's at the end of the day, you've loosened the tie a little bit. Sort of dark reddish hair, fairly greasy, goes down to about just a little bit past the ears. About a couple days worth of facial growth. Like the Warhammer equivalent of jeans.
Yeah. Jeans.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, that makes
loafers.
With a Z.
Yes. Yes. Jeans and loafers, both with Z's at the end.
Jenz. Yes.
Jenz. He doesn't have any visible weapons on him. The closest thing, and what really kind of counts as a weapon for him, is I'm sorry, was it hand box you said?
And Vox.
Hand vox, yes.
Yeah.
The hand vox that he's got, that he is currently in the process of talking into as he walks up. And he's saying like, listen, Carl, you got nothing to worry about. I always hold up my end, right? I mean, when was the last time that I failed you? Okay, well, that doesn't count. That was the goddamn steel watch was breathing down my neck. There was nothing I could do with that. So you're fine. You get the money by like the weekend, maybe early next week is all. It's just been a little crazy than usual. Okay, you're good. We're good. Okay, yeah. Say hi to your sister for me. Yeah, you too, prick. So he used to walk over. See, this guy sits down. Hey.
Hi. Yes.
What's good here? I know
I
you don't know. I'm just I was just asking to take the edge off, right?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Well, it's been a little crazy in the upper spires recently. Watchmaster and the arbitrators getting up in arms about weird things happening, so I could really use something to take some of the edge off.
Yeah, what else is new? Or is this more than the usual?
I mean, something's going on with some of the houses. I mean, no one's really certain what's going on, but I think, as far as I know, I think someone got up in arms about one of the mercenaries with the houses, and some
Really?
kind of fight started, and arbitrators are getting angry, watchmasters making noise.
Wouldn't happen to know which houses, do you?
Oh God, I think Tandris was involved, but I don't know. It's all a bunch of noise, and as far as everyone's concerned, it's just getting loud.
Yeah. Well, it's look, that kind of thing, it's gonna happen. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry. I got you covered. And while this is going on, like under the table, I am slipping over and holding out my hand, waiting.
And yeah, you feel a pouch full of thrones pressed into your hand.
And immediately it's gone, and something is left remaining.
And yeah, the obscura pipe that was handed across, he grips tightly and, thank you very much. I should get out of here before anyone spots me.
I mean, how long you been waiting?
20 minutes.
Wait 5 more.
All
You don't
right.
want to get up immediate. Listen, it is going to be a lot more conspicuous if you get up and you walk away immediately after I sat down. You got to use your head. You got to think about this kind of stuff.
All right. He looks over his shoulder at the bodyguard, who just shrugs and is obviously holding a gun to deter
Right.
anyone who might want to interfere.
Yep.
So,
Now get me a drink.
sort of
Unless you
wave
want
over-
to, unless you want us to just sit at this table and do nothing, which is even more conspicuous.
the noble, which is clearly what they are, just waves
Right.
over somebody to get them a drink, and the camera cuts away to the high spires, the top of the city, the noble house of Tandris, as the Lord of House Tandris, Lord Malton Tandris, walks out to a balcony to greet his retainer, mercenary, bodyguard, many things. But he walks out to look over the view of the city and just, without looking, says, so I hear there's been a bit of action going in the Underhive lately. What do you know about what's been going on? And the person responding, L'Oreal, what do you look like?
Laurel is roughly 6'10", has icy blue eyes and fiery red hair pulled up into a bright and tall ponytail. Her armor is white and green with accents of red. Currently a cloak about her. Hanging from her hip is a vicious sword, and on the other side is a las pistol. She has a small scar just on the left side, or her left cheek, and one of her ears is knocked. And as she looks down at her purveyor,
Patron.
boss, she simply says, it seems that a lot of the monkeys have gotten riled up. I apologize. I believe a lot of the lesserborns have gotten a little riled up about things. It's nothing I would say you need to concern yourself with.
Well, nonetheless, I'm probably going to have a job for you shortly. An old contact reached out to me this morning. There's an envoy from a rogue trader coming in who's going to need your assistance with some investigation.
I can do that, of course. What exactly does this entail?
It entails journeying. It entails journeying into the Undercity. I suspect there's going to be some danger involved, which is why I need you as the person most capable of keeping this envoy safe.
Babysitting. Got it. Well,
You'll probably see your fair share of action.
oh, undoubtedly. Have you been in the Underhive?
Not recently, but I know what it's like. In any event, they should be here shortly.
Fantastic.
And then the camera shifts deep, down deep into the Underhive, into the forgotten sections where few humans even know to go, where a pile of ramshackle scrap that begins to form a small village is inhabited by a small tribe of the Xenos known as orcs.
Hell
Where
yeah.
in particular, one in particular is fiddling with a flame-throwing device that they have in their possession, adjusting valves and readjusting tubing, when another one steps up, dressed in heavy black armor with a red pauldron with spikes on it, a big heavy chain chopper in his hand, and a slug on his waist. This is Dregbonk. Oh, poor unlucky Dregbonk. Tina, I think Big Mac Dig Tinker's looking for you.
Yeah? Okay.
Tina, what do you look like?
Tina is small for an orc, which means she's like 5'10", 3, 2, somewhere in there. So very small, compact, dense. In a like
Wolverine size. I like it.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
In a red and blue jumpsuit and Uggs, and a fluffy, sort of warm aviator's hat situation. Yep, that's pretty much it. No scars.
I think something about the Yumis and weird stuff going on.
All right.
So,
All right.
you know.
Get up. Make sure I have all my stuff. If I might finish if I have anything else to tinker with before I go, but head over.
Just head over to the mech shop.
Yeah, right.
You walk over, minion scampering behind you. Wait up, boss.
I'll really slow down, maybe slightly.
Minion tries to run to keep up. You walk into the mech shop, and Big Mech Dig Tinker, the boss of the Dig Tinker tribe, is working on what appears to be a large vehicle, some kind of truck, ramshackle made of a variety of scrap metal, but with a large roaring engine that is slowly burning out. You can hear the growl as he works on it.
Ooh.
And as you walk in, rah, took you long enough, Tina. I was waiting for ya.
Sorry.
Right. Well, got a job for ya. You's the one that tends to be able to work with the Yumis more than most without getting into a fight too much, just as much as you need to.
Right.
Well, something about the gangs is getting riled up. And I want to know where the good fighting is so we can have our kit ready for the next big scrap, you know what I mean? And I can't do it if they's not talking to us. But it seems like what's the name? Hostile Arts Gang, whatever he's named. He's getting wrapped up in something bigger than themselves. Not a lot of them, but he's getting caught up in the fights. Last I heard, one of theirs was taken up for them big docks up the city. But he's gonna be back soon, and I want you to figure out what's going on. We need to know where the fighting's gonna happen so we can have our boys in.
Right.
Now, last I heard, there's another git who knows what's what round here. You can typically find him in, what's the Yumi bar, not far north of here, up a couple levels. Likes to hang around where them Yumis get themselves all zogged up on their fancy weeds.
Fuck me.
Remy, think was the name.
Right.
Find Remy, and they'll be able to find you to the Hostile Arts.
Right.
It's up to you. Now get going.
You've got it in my ear, Jeremy.
Wasn't Remy. It was definitely another name.
No, he said Remy.
Nope. It was like
said Remy.
Ryan.
Oh, Remy.
No,
I heard what I heard.
Regis.
Your name isn't Remy, it's Jer. That's all.
I heard him and he said Remy.
Ryback. I don't know. It was something.
But you get going.
Mhm.
And the camera shifts again to the suborbital space dock as a lighter is setting down. As the ramp descends, a single human walks down with a staff in one hand. As a servo skull, again, one of these small constructs made out of the upper half of a human skull with a variety of machines and impeller fields keeping it afloat, hovers down, and a video signal is displayed as the face of one Gerfried Eckhart is displayed. All right, Saris, this will be your first task on your own. I've already made contact with a friend of ours. He's aware of your position, but due to everyone around, is obliged to keep up the rogue trader facade. You'll be seeking out Lord Malton Tandris of the House Tandris in the upper spire. They'll be able to point you in the right direction of what's been going on and find the seed of corruption that I know is present on the world. Your task is to root it out and exterminate it. Use whatever allies you need to accomplish this.
In my experience, is there anything I need to say other than yes, sir, in response to this?
You can ask any question if there's any questions you have. You probably want to ask them now because communication will probably be difficult.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Operational parameters, my lord. Anything off limits?
Understand that while I am not present on the planet, my pull is limited, but you are given full operational freedom for whatever is necessary to see the job done. You'll be operating mostly on your own, however.
Of course. Anything I should know going into this meeting with Lord Tandris?
They're mercenaries as Xenos. Be prepared to work with them. Eldari, if I recall correctly.
It's a slight twinge in the one visible eyebrow.
We have greater foes at stake.
Is there anything that... Sorry, I'm distracted. Is there anything that my character would know to ask that I, the player, am forgetting about?
Probably most things that you would need to know you've probably already been filled in with. So just the operational parameters stuff. You've probably asked everything that you need to. But for the moment, what does the person stepping off the ramp and having this conversation look like?
So Saris stands at right at 6 feet tall. Short cropped silvery white hair. That seems that is sort of cut, buzzed almost to the scalp on the sides, and then cut short in a militaristic haircut style on top. Though currently hidden beneath a broad brimmed hat. With a eye patch covering her right eye, where you can see just the tips of a burned scar coming out from underneath it and off to the sides. Wearing dark brown leathers that are basically a carefully adjusted flak armor or flak armor, flak jacket armor. That is designed to look for all the world like a envoy's attire rather than armor. Decorated with all the accoutrement of a rogue trader's envoy, and carrying a staff that is as tall as she is, with all manner of electronics on it. The Imperial
Aquila.
Aquila.
It doesn't really matter how you
Imperial
pronounce it.
Aquila, the Imperial enchilada on the top of it, mounted with an Imperial eagle, and the banner of the Rogue Trader house hanging off of it, and talking to a Servo Skull. Very pale skin, skin color that is a particular version of ashen pale that is known to belong to those who originate from Holy Terra. And gray eyes. If there's nothing else that I need to ask, then it will be done, my lord.
I've secured an air car for you that will take you directly to House Tandris. May the Emperor guide your steps.
And I assume the video winks out.
It winks out, yeah.
And I will begin walking towards the thing. I know the name of the Rogue Trader house that I belong to?
Yeah, it's House Eckhart. It is established as a name.
Cool,
yeah.
Good. And do I know if House Eckhart has territory in the system?
This system is on the very verge of Ultramar. The rogue traders have deals here, but most of the actual planetary governors in this region are beholden directly to the Imperium. So no one owns this planet except the Imperium and the planetary governor who runs it. It probably has the most close ties with any one faction would be the Ultramarines of Ultramar.
Gotcha.
But other than that, not really.
Yeah, then I will head to wherever my waiting craft is and board.
And so we cut back to the Medicaid facility as Aristarchus is finishing up working on these two gangers. Roll me a Medicaid test. Difficulty 3.
All right. Okay. We don't input a difficulty, just result.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Did you roll?
So difficulty 3 would mean that you need 3 successes to succeed.
Hey, that's exactly 3.
Or 3 icons.
And it's
Nice.
also a Wrath critical.
Ooh, well,
Because you
what
rolled a
does
6 on the
that
Wrath die.
mean, storyteller?
When one rolls a 6 on the Wrath die, the single red colored die out of the list of black ones, a number of things happen. First of which being that the party gains a glory. So
Yay!
go ahead and raise that up to 1. The glory counter is now at 1.
I will do
Did
that.
we not start with the glory for it being the beginning of the...
No, the glory begins at 0.
Okay.
Our wrath just starts at
Oops.
1.
No, you start with 2 Wrath.
Oh, 2 wrath.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it's updated.
But when you score a Wrath critical, you get a point of glory. And if it was in combat, you would also have scored a critical hit. But for now, it just sort of means that you have succeeded with exceptional relish, which means that you've managed to stabilize both of these individuals without any real difficulty. Both of them are breathing just fine. However, the thing that you know is that if there's an injured hostile heart in this Medicaid facility, it means that very shortly you're going to have a visitor.
Right, well, let's get you all cleaned up then. And let's see. Vitellius, you're on sweep duty, so get this blood mopped. I reckon, you lot, that Ms. Blair will be by at any moment. So look sharpish.
And
They might be
not
shouting.
and not even a few minutes later, Blair marches her way into your operating theater. We're playing a little fast and loose with time here about when things got, because it's a long
No
trek
worries.
from the Underhive to up into the Medicaid, but accommodating for it. Blair, you enter the scene as Aristarchus is cleaning up his facilities and getting everything cleaned up from finishing up the operation.
How is she?
Oh, she's breathing just fine. I wouldn't be too concerned. You can have a look if you like.
She'll walk over.
Are these both yours, or just the one?
Sorry, get the accent. You know, I only employ females.
I mean, on the books, sure. But, you know, there comes time when a lady needs some subcontractors or deniable assets, I presume. I don't know entirely how things work down Hive, but
My way
just
of saying
wasn't
I
sure
don't
if you
know
were
who that is.
previously acquainted. All right, well, that's fine then. Have I had a chance to look over that brand on his shoulder and see if I recognize it or know anything about it?
You can roll me what skill do I want to make that?
That's Scholar.
Yeah, roll me Scholar.
All right. What's my difficulty on this one?
We're gonna say 3.
Okay.
Nice. there's a thing that stands out to you. The shape is, while not unheard of for a variety of different groups, it puts you a little bit too much in mind of practices that are considered proscribed, the act of branding in general, but especially a symbol that is entirely just curvatures and not like any kind of obvious denotation or marking, is a little bit, speaks of something that is perhaps a little bit dangerous as far as the common clientele goes.
Well,
and you're not certain whether that's a mark. You're not certain whether that mark was forced on him or if he accepted it. The second one probably worse.
Right. He's not conscious yet, right?
No, he's well sedated.
Okay. Right. Yep. Well, since this lad's not one of yours, might be interested in you knowing what your girls are tangling with, and he'll just unceremoniously grab the guy by the back of the neck with the Medicae dendrite and just lift him up so that brand is clearly visible.
Do I recognize this at all?
Seen anything like this before?
Go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me Scholar as well, just in case. This is going to be difficulty 3 as well.
Wait, how? Oh, I didn't hit the difficulty.
No, the difficulty doesn't matter. I think it's just.
It doesn't matter. Oh, okay.
The target number.
You only have the one die in Scholar.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, you don't know enough about this marking. You haven't seen it before. If it is some kind of new gang mark, you haven't seen much of the gang that wears it.
You should have more than that because you just rolled the wrath die and nothing else. And
no, you always roll at least the wrath die.
Yeah,
if she just has an intellect of 1 and no ranks in Scholar, that tracks.
Oh, it does. Okay, cool. I thought you would still get the 1 of intellect.
No, you don't get a glory unless it succeeds, unfortunately.
Okay.
We can't get glory just by failing over and over again.
Quick, start
It's
stacking.
not going to stop me from trying.
I know.
What? Failing over and over again or getting glory?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not familiar with it, but it does look weird to you.
Yeah, she'll look at it for a while and say, I've never seen anything like this.
All right. Well, closer to the source, usually the best place to start asking, but I'll see what we've got in the archives, if they'll give me clearance for the archives after last time. I'm sure we can work out something.
Yorick crackles with incoming Vox signal. And once again, the voice of the Magus Biologus comes over. Aristarchus, you have another visitor.
It's turning into a bloody conference in here.
Yes, well,
yes, Mum.
This one you'll want to pay particular attention to. They come from one of the high houses.
Oh, all right. By all means, anything we can do to accommodate.
But as this group walks in, rewinding slightly, as Saris, you arrive at House Candace. The servants, you make yourself known, and the servants let you in, and you are walked into a lavishly appointed stateroom with a massive long table built for meetings of several dozen people at once. But sitting at the far end of it is Lord Malton Tandris, who is by his looks, you would say middle-aged, but that doesn't mean a lot for nobles because they have access to rejuvenate treatments and other things to extend their life expectancy. But he's got a full beard that's black with a little bit of salt and pepper in it, wearing a long dark coat and a military cap that speaks of his military experience. based on your briefing, Lord Malton Tandris, as the head of House Tandris, is a military veteran with a long career and plenty of honors behind him. But standing at his side is an Eldari, who you have not seen before, but matches. You were told that he had an Eldar bodyguard. But as you enter, Malton Tandris looks up as you enter. Ah, you must be our envoy from the good rogue trader Eckhart.
Two questions. One, I know the road traders are sort of outside the Imperium line of command. Would I still offer the, like, as an envoy, would I still offer the traditional, like, salute, whatever, to ex-military, or no?
It's a point of respect. Like, you don't have to, but it's a good thing to do to get on a good foot.
Yeah, to maintaining a relationship. Well, offer salute. Do I know what his rank was?
He was a major.
Major Tandis, pleasure. And never the one eye focused on him. I see the Eldari, but I'm not looking at or acknowledging the Eldari.
I understand that you're here for some particular investigations for your rogue trader. And there's the subtle undercurrent that you pick up that says, we know what we're talking about here, but we're keeping up appearances.
Yes, Lord Tandis. There seems to be some bit of supply disruption occurring with rogue trader Eckhart. And he's curious about ascertaining the source and dealing with it as possible. And she pauses for a second. Scheduling and not scheduling. The shipments that we have been having pass through your ports have been a bit chaotic as of late.
Understood. I do have a lead for you to begin with. From my sources, the Medicae facility of Medicae Primus recently picked up a unique set of individuals who have been coming up from the sump with unusual markings. They've been showing up infrequently, but you'll likely still be able to find one if you head down to Medicae Primaris and speak with individuals there. I will send you with my bodyguard, as where you're going, danger will be apparent.
I appreciate it, Lord Tandis. Hopefully my...
It is Tandris with an R, by the way.
Tandris, yes. Was I not saying Tandris?
You're saying Tandis without the R.
I think the R is just slurring into the IS.
Potentially.
Of course, Lord Tandris. Hopefully my meager experience will be of some benefit.
This is Loroel. She will be adept at keeping you safe.
The eye finally turns to look at the Eldar. Loruel, a pleasure. Saris.
She'll simply nod.
Now, as I'm unfamiliar with the territory, would you mind terribly leading the way?
I don't mind at all. She will lead and not so much idle chit chat, but definitely giving instructions as walking through territories, and not so much, like I said, not so much idle chit chat, but avoid there. Only go there if you want to be killed, and just little bits and bobs as they walk through and head towards the Medicae.
Yeah, and I will give as respectful a goodbye as I possibly can and head that way.
And as you head off, the camera shifts. Remy, do you smoke glow sticks?
Yes.
So you're
Absolutely.
outside. You're out.
Yep.
You're outside this bar enjoying a glow stick.
Yep.
When you hear the sound of a ganger going, what the frack are you doing? Ah!
I'm immediately looking that direction.
And you see a ganger of the Wastelanders, one of the popular gangs that tends to try and help run things in here in the Underhive, in the lower sections of the Hive. tossed over a railing and disappear down the massive, like 1,000-foot drop to the bottom of to the hive. And approaching you is an orc. You know rumors that there
Are
is a
you
small...
waving
Yes.
enthusiastically?
Huh?
Awesome.
I've asked around, and I know you're Remy.
Amazing.
There's a you've heard rumors that there's a small tribe of orcs that live at the bottom of the hive city that the enforcers and the gangs have had a really hard time trying to burn out. This is the first time you've been approached by one. They are bigger than you thought they'd be.
Right. So I look over where the guy got thrown. Am I going over there?
No. Hey, hello. Unless I lose the accent entirely.
There was an accent?
Tina.
Tina. Hi.
You're Remy.
I might be. It depends.
I heard you know. Hang on. What did Tina takes a second to remember what she was told.
You're looking for the Hostile Hearts gang.
Hostile Hearts gang, and that you know how to find them.
Interesting. Who told you that?
My boss.
Your boss.
Yup.
Right.
Which
Flicks
is
the glow
not
stick
a
on
little
the
bit
ground.
which is not a little bit disconcerting that your name is in the head of an orc leader.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah.
Nick.
And
So
why would you
you knows what's up?
Remy might why are you looking for
You're Remy. The shirt.
I mean, I might
matches.
be. Look, there are a lot of people that wear these kind of shirts. This is a whole fashion thing up here. It's a new trend, but it's
I haven't seen anyone
I
else.
was like,
wearing
Tina,
a
you have
shirt.
seen no one else wearing a shirt like that.
I said, it's a new trend, but it's catching on quickly. You're gonna see it. It's just down that way a little bit. It's kind of where it starts. Regardless, why are you looking for them?
Because there's a fight going on with them, and I want to see. I want to see where the
fight
fights are
them?
starting. Yeah.
You want to fight them?
No, I want to fight the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And as
you're
far
an
as far
orc.
as far
That's
as
how this works.
as far as you know, the Hostile Hearts is not the biggest gang. They're
Right.
not the big people in this
Right.
fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
So no.
I'm aware that's how your whole thing works. I get it. But
Well,
like,
how'd you know?
there are you know what? I will explain that later. They're not the biggest gang, so
Mhm.
why are you looking for who they're fighting?
Yeah, or like who's messing with them? I don't. I'm gathering information.
All right, your name's Tina, right?
Yes,
Tina, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Remy.
you're Remy.
But you didn't know that till now.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. All right. It may be.
I want to watch the buddy cop drama.
This is
Tina
the
and Remy.
best buddy cop movie
I'm
that
so
has ever
excited.
Yeah. It may be that I know how to get a hold of them or how to find them at least.
Cool.
and
I'm
yeah,
gonna have to make a few calls though.
Right.
I'm assuming. Do I have a like?
yeah,
I'm assuming I
you've
know
got
a
people.
lot of the gangs around.
Yeah,
here,
you've got
so-
people who know people in the gangs. In fact, you probably have a contact in the Wastelanders who probably keeps tabs on the Hostile Hearts
Okay.
specifically.
So I'm going to need to make a few calls. While we do, this is going to take a minute. I don't know. Do you drink?
I
Not
have never
water.
You drink
Like-
fungus beer,
fungus beer.
That
which
sounds
is a thing that orcs make specifically.
that sounds delicious, but let me expand your palate a bit. We're going to go in here. We're going to sit down. We're going to make some calls. You're going to buy me a drink. and we will figure out
Oh, that's gonna end well.
Do I have
where
money?
to find.
You have teeth.
You
That's
got
your
orc
money.
Yeah.
You
Sweet.
got work money.
Yeah, I'll
Listen, as long as we get the drinks, Remy don't give a shit. And we will find the hostile hearts for you. All right,
great.
awesome. Come on in.
Look,
Nice
teeth
to
is a
meet ya.
fiat-based currency. If you don't take the teeth, I will fiat you over it.
I was going to say it's more of a threat than a currency.
Yeah, it's a threat,
Yeah.
which I'm very good at.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm gonna call my contact.
I will buy my new best friend a drink.
Yeah, so you walk in, the bar immediately like freezes. Like everyone in the bar is like, fuck. There's an orc walking in here. And we don't have the guns to deal with it right now if it starts a fight.
Which means I'm feeling pretty secure at this moment.
Which is doubly so because it's holding a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you walk in, you slap a handful of big sharp teeth on the counter and say, "Get me a beer," or "Get me
Two
whatever
beers. Apparently, I'm supposed to drink with Remy.
drink." And the bartender, who has probably interacted with you specifically at least once
Yeah.
before, looks up, knows better than to talk about how teeth aren't money here, and just swipes them down.
We have
She
She always
And-
we
takes
have,
them. This
we have
is
1 glory, 0 ruin right now, right?
6 ruin. I start with a number of
6
ruin
ruin.
equal to the number of players.
6 ruin. That's
Sweet.
lovely. That's great. I love that. Love that for you.
But they just start pouring a couple of beers because they know that there's 2 reasons to pour beers for the orc. 1, the orc doesn't get violent, and 2, if the orc likes you and somebody else gets violent, the orc can deal with them.
Uh-huh. You're the best, Bobby. We're just gonna be over in my office, pointing to the table that I normally frequent.
Good luck.
All right. Sit down, and I am making a call.
Holly, can you type your character's name in the chat for me, please?
Mhm.
It's in the last roll that was made.
Oh, it is. Never mind. We're good.
So yeah, you make a call to one of your contacts in the Wastelanders. Hey Remy, what can I do for you?
Hey, I've got a real time-specific, time-intensive question for you. If I wanted to find the hostile hearts, how would I go about doing that? Where would they be right now?
Go ahead just to see what your relationship with this contact is right now. Go ahead and roll me a let's call it cunning test. Difficulty 2.
All right, I appreciate that. Cunning.
So 1, you're not on the
Yeah.
best terms with this guy right now.
Fair enough.
Why are you looking for the hostile hearts?
So I have an opportunity for them that they might be very interested in.
Yeah, you
I
said that to me
promise-
last time too, and
I
that didn't pay out
promise
too well, did
this
it?
is not like last time. Okay, last time was not my fault, and you fucking know that's not my fault.
You always say that.
It wasn't, and you know it. The time before that was my fault. I misjudged how certain insinuations would be taken. This last time was not my fault. Regardless, just think about it this: if this opportunity were to go to somebody else and they find out, they might be really upset about it. So
Fine.
I don't know, maybe you want them angry at you.
But you owe a favor, not to me. You owe Avon a favor.
I look up at the orc.
I'm watching. I've been watching you the whole time. This is fascinating.
Big giant jaw with many sharp teeth.
Yeah.
How big a favor?
That's up to Avon, but probably just getting some things because we've been running short on stuff for a bit.
Oh, that's fucking fine. I don't give a shit about. Yeah, sure.
All right. Last I heard, some of the hostile hearts got caught up in a firefight with some new gangers. One of them got injured and was taken up to Medicaid Primaris. So if you go there, you're damn sure likely to find Blair because she checks in personally whenever any of her gang gets injured.
What kind? How bad was the firefight? I need to know what kind of mood I'm gonna be walking into.
Well, the person in her gang, as far as I know, was the only one. She was only injured. There were about 6 people killed in that fight.
So they won.
Oh yeah, she came out on top, but she wasn't the only person in that fight.
All right, that's not so bad. So where is this? Where is this doctor place?
Head up to Mid-Hive, head to Medicaid Primaris, the big
Ugh.
hospital for everyone.
All right, you are the best. Thank you.
Good luck again.
Yep. Hang up on him, fucking asshole. All right, good news.
You realize bringing an orc into the Mid-Hive is very dangerous.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying good news. We know I know where I can find them. Here's the thing. I don't know that you can go there. So I'm going to have to get him and I'm going to have to bring him to you. Or pass the message along for you. Maybe I can set up a meeting with them with you somewhere.
I don't know how suspicious Tina is. Because this sounds like it might be someone trying to foist me off a little bit.
There's
don't
an
know.
insight skill, right?
Yeah. I feel like
Go
I
ahead-
should do that.
Go ahead and roll insight.
Yeah.
And Remy, I feel like you want to roll cunning here.
Or deception. I don't know.
I got nothing.
I mean, he's being honest. That's the thing. He's not lying yet. I will take cunning.
Yeah, that's accurate. I have 1 insight.
4.
Explains a lot about Tina.
And a critical success.
Sweet. Okay.
So yeah, you get it. You get to add another glory to the counter.
Woot.
You're welcome.
But yeah, they seem genuine enough. They're probably too scared of you. Humans tend to be.
All right.
Where
Sounds like an arrangement. Just gonna hold out her hand to you. This is how you seal a deal.
Yep.
It's just-
I will hold out a hand somewhat. This is just going to be you're not going to you know what? No, it's fine. It's fine.
This orc's hand can take the entirety of your forearm.
Yeah.
Into its grip.
Crunch.
Yeah, orc feet are bigger than human feet. That's why it's 5'3". It's small for an
Right.
orc, but for all of you.
But in conversion units,
Yeah.
she's about 8 foot tall.
Yeah. Shake your hand firmly, but gently, because I know you're fragile.
Thank you.
Where should I wait?
I mean, you can wait here. I don't think it's going to be that fucking long. Unless there's someone somewhere else. If it takes, I tell you what, you wait here. If you got to go somewhere, just tell Bobby where you're headed specifically.
Gotcha.
Like specific address. Because otherwise I'm going to have to run
Right.
all over the hive for you. And I don't want to do that.
Right. I'll leave a trail.
Sounds great. All right. I am going to go find your gang for you. I will get up and I will head off.
never saw Remy again.
I'm fighting the first ship off this fucking planet. No.
The problem with not doing this is your name is now known to multiple orcs.
Yes.
Right.
Like I said,
Two
off
is
the
I'm
multiple.
planet.
persistent.
No. I'm just going to go where I was told they were.
Yeah, so you head that way.
Yep.
Ramping forward a little bit in time, back to Aristarchus and Blair. As you're waiting, in walk two figures. One is dressed in like off-world traveler outfit, big like cloak and hat with a big staff they're walking with, eye patch on one eye. The other one is an Eldar.
Has Aristarchus heard of House Tandris's retainer?
Once,
Yes, you have heard that House Tandris does keep an Eldar mercenary on retainer.
Once we're like in the hive proper, like indoors, the hat's probably like in a bag.
Let me be first to extend to you the welcome of the Medicae Primaris. And Aristarchus is going to step up and over to it's Laurel?
Laurel.
Laurel. Up to Laurel. And you just see the mechadendrite kind of drift over slightly in front of his face and a couple of screens pop out. And I'm going to do as much of a full analysis on this Eldar, because this is probably the first one I've ever seen up close.
Almost certainly.
Was I given a name of this Mechanicus?
The person that you like when you came in, you had to talk to whoever was at the front reception, and they pointed you to this specific surgical theater. You were given the name of the adept who runs it is Aristarchus Dactyl.
Adept Aristarchus. The human interjects.
Go ahead and roll me a Medicaid test.
Okay.
While you're
Can I add an additional one to this since this is more of a diagnostic?
Yep.
Cool.
You're using your diagnoster in full, so
4 successes on that.
You're getting a lot of cross-referenced information that is relevant. A lot of this matches up to what you've read about Eldari in the information that you've had access to as a member of the Ordo Biologus. They have a crystalline bone structure, and from what you can tell, their resting respiratory rate is many times slower than that of an average human. This is just some of the things that you're picking up.
Yep. Right. Aristarchus will be mumbling slightly under his breath. It's a bloody efficient respiratory system you've got in there, love. All right. Yes, sorry, that's me. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Miss Not of the Hive.
Sarah Saltinos, envoy to the rogue trader Eckhart. Pleasure to meet you.
Does that mean anything to Aristarchus in terms of social status or anything?
Rogue traders are the people who are authorized by the Imperium to make money in whatever way they can, and they often have massive empires because of it. A rogue trader visiting a planet is sort of like a foreign prince walking in, but this is one of their envoys, so
Right.
roughly that status.
Okay. Oh. Welcome to the Hive. Pleased to make your acquaintance. What brings two so illustrious figures in? And Aristarchus sort of starts moving over towards the table where the patients are. I don't know how obvious it would be. Trying to draw their attention away from Blair.
Mm-hmm.
GM, I would like to take a look around the room to see what and who all is present, just as a matter of course.
Just to see what, I mean, you can see everyone who is here, but to see what you train in on, go ahead and roll me your
Investigation,
yeah. Or no, awareness, actually.
Awareness. Okay.
Roll me awareness.
I would like to do the same thing.
You can as well.
2 successes and 1 exalted, so 4 successes.
Yep. You can also gain another glory.
Oh, and also a crit. Yes.
Sweet.
Glory pool is up to 3. Laurel, all of this is beneath you. You have no reason to pay too much attention to any of it. Saris, as you look around, you notice there are 2 injured gangers. You notice the live ganger who shares the colors of one of the injured ones. And the several servo skulls that appear to be probably native to this operating theater. You also notice, because it's quite obvious because of how the body's been positioned, the unique brand on the shoulder of the male ganger.
Do I recognize it?
Roll me scholar.
Any bonuses?
+1. This is your field.
All right. Scholar. 1 bonus die. 2 successes.
2 successes is enough. It was fairly.
And one more glory.
Oh, one of
And
them was a
another glory.
crit. Right.
Yeah, so 4. We're at 4 glory now.
Critting all day.
So this symbol is comprised of a pair of sickles attached by a bar. It's not exactly, but it's very close to the iconography that is associated with the Chaos God Slanesh, which doesn't necessarily speak that there is actual chaos activity here, but does speak that there is at least something less than ideal going on. There is definitely something heretical hidden underneath this city.
Something smells like heresy. Question again. A question that Saris would know. I would not. Is this would I feel like this individual would be more important to keep alive for questioning. Does Saris feel similar, or is her instinct to cap him in the back of the head while she still can?
Your immediate suspicion is that someone this low on the totem pole probably knows next to nothing and is worth about as much.
Okay, good. In that case, yeah.
They're basically a pawn for whoever's running this.
In that case, she'll turn to Laurel. Pardon, I'm not a particularly good aim. Would you mind killing that man, indicating the one with the brand on his shoulder?
And as you take a second look at that brand, Laurel, yeah, that's instantly recognizable to you. That has a long history with your people.
Yep. Laz pistol is out.
Just roll me an attack real quick. He's prone. There's no way he can stop you.
I mean, the gun could explode.
Yeah, if you get.
I use a las pistol.
They didn't have your full thing in. Set your skill attribute to BS agility. Okay, try it again.
There you go.
The defense was 1. Would you like to shift that extra exalted icon for more damage?
Yeah. Yo.
Or splat.
So roll your damage with an extra bonus die added.
And how do I do?
So the DBD. And then hit the red. And then, so in the DBD, bring that up to 1 over to the right, and then hit the red die to roll damage. Yep. So that's 9 damage.
Splat.
Yeah, he's not wearing any armor. He barely has any resistance right now. That is enough. You just sort of aim the weapon, and this like scintillating beam of light energy just burns a hole through his chest.
So as the gun goes off, Saris is walking towards the remaining group, with ignoring the presence of the laser beam and the dead body. Good adept, if you would kindly begin any sort of cleansing rites that you might need to perform for your operating theater. You see that individual there would be a chaos-tainted heretic and is The thing that I was coming here to find.
That gentleman specifically.
Yes, well, him and the rest of his ilk. You see, Rogue Trader Eckhart's shipments have been encountering some bit of difficulty coming through this Hive city and the port above, and the difficulty in specific pointed us towards the existence of chaos-tainted heretics within the Hive, which I have come to investigate, and you have so handily provided me quite a bit of information on.
We do not suffer those of Slanesh to live.
So specifically, Laurel, even saying the name Slanesh is dangerous for an Eldar, which is why you sort of you refer to them by a moniker typically, which is She Who Thirsts, or the Fallen Prince, the Dark Prince, and so on and so forth. Because the fear is that even saying the name Slanesh draws its eye to the Eldar.
So to recant, we do not suffer those who follow She Who Thirsts to live.
Right. Well, and Aristarchus goes to his belt and pulls out this heavily engraved container of that he flips open, and there's just all these small pots of solvents and lubricants and that sort of thing, and he's going to use his sacred machine oils to cleanse his operating room.
Yep, it's simple
Or
enough.
gasoline.
Right, but there's a very he puts it off on one side on one of the instrument trays, flips it open, makes a gesture of reverence, and begins a very ceremonial procedure. He's speaking in some language that I don't think anybody else here understands.
Yeah.
While that's going on, I then direct my attention to the two other living humans in the room.
One of whom is unconscious. So
To the one that's conscious. Pardon me, we haven't yet been introduced. Sarah Sartinos, envoy of the Rogue Trader Eckhart, and you are?
Blair Hart.
Good. And would you happen to be a companion of the one that we've just shot, or opposed? Please, I hope you say opposed.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I believe opposed.
Good. Then, in that case, could you please explain why you are here in the same room and what sort of information you might have on this individual?
And Laurel is leveling that Las Blaster again, just
in case.
at the ready.
Well, this one, and she will point at the unconscious one, is one of mine.
And yours are?
The Hostile Hearts.
Sarah makes a mental note of gang named after person's last name, but doesn't say anything on it.
Which then immediately clues this person in as leader of said gang.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the individual's relation to the other?
Based on what you were told by as I forget the name.
Talia.
By Talia, they were in a firefight, so definitely not friendly.
Oh, okay, yeah. They were in a fight.
Tentative ally. Good. Would you happen to know where?
Does she know where?
Lower down in the Underhive, somewhere between the borders of Wastelander territory and Veritas Mortis territory, or Mortis Veritas.
Down in the Underhive.
Look over at Laurel. Are you familiar with the Underhive?
Laurel, you've probably wandered it a few times. It's usually the place where you have to go when there's violence to be done. You're not the most familiar. Someone who lives down there would definitely know the routes better.
I will say that I'm not unfamiliar.
Capable enough to guide or no?
I believe so.
Sorry. To clarify, she was referring to you. If you were capable enough to guide.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes.
looks back over at the other. Well then, I see from the way you carry yourself that you're something of a fighter.
Yes.
What would be required to purchase your services?
What would you be offering?
Uh,
The easiest thing to offer is throne gelt. You can
Yeah.
just offer. You have thrones aplenty
yeah,
to offer.
an uncountable sum of throne gelt.
And what would you be asking?
Accompaniment, bodyguard, and additional guide work as needed in the pursuit of the remnants of points at the headless one, this one's associates, and the eradication thereof.
All right.
Which is, as far as you're concerned, basically this person wants to pay you to wipe out this gang that shot up one of your gang members.
To do what I was going to do.
Yes.
Yes.
GM,
Yes.
is there any like protocol for the Eldari to report something like this to others, or
I mean, there normally would be, but you are a Corsair. The only people who would really care to hear from you are your coterie. So, and they haven't seen you in a while. So, theoretically, but not anyone that you immediately have contact with.
At this point, I think Aristarchus has finished his rites and is just staring very directly and intently at Ceres.
And it is at this point, with a blasted body on a table, an unconscious ganger on another table, and a stare down between an Eldar, a mysterious stranger, a tech priest, and a third ganger, that Remy walks in.
it's like the Spider-Man meme, but way worse?
Yeah.
Remy's got the best luck in
I
the
like to
world.
think Remy walks in just to hear Aristarchus say, "Well, you know there, miss, if you got that amount of guilt to be throwing around, we could see about replacing that eyeball of yours."
Irby turns around and walks back out.
I might take you up on that offer, actually, Adept. In a moment. If that's suitable for you, could I ask the two of you then to wait for me outside? I just want to discuss some medical procedures with our mechanicus here.
I'll be waiting in here. One of my girls is in here. I'm waiting in here.
If it's a matter of privacy, we've got a wee bit of a chamber down the hallway, if that would work better for you.
Lead the way.
And hi there, fella.
At the retreating form of Remy.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That was like 30 seconds ago. I said I walked
Oh, okay.
out and conversation continued. I'm not in the
Okay.
building.
Well, then that's yelled down the hall after you.
As Remy, you hear someone shout after you as you're walking down the hall.
A floating skull comes following after.
Right. Servius, go see what that lad needs.
Remy, as you're walking, a servo
Yep.
skull begins to hover out of the Medicaid facility and starts to come towards you.
Can I help you? As I'm just I'm walking to wherever the immediate outside is.
It starts to beep at you interrogatively, but you don't.
I don't
Speak
speak to
Mechanicus.
you.
I don't speak to you.
I don't speak.
But yeah,
You're gonna have to clarify that a little bit for me.
Aristarchus will take Ceres down to, whatever the version of a consulting room is.
It just continues to follow you as you walk outside,
Okay.
Remy.
Yeah, no, I am just waiting outside. I can conduct my business when whatever that whole thing finishes up. Because that was too many people that might kill me in one room.
Look, I'm fairly certain that the corpse and the unconscious one weren't probably going to kill you.
You never
Probably.
know.
Probably.
Feels you we have a bigger problems. than
Anyway,
did Jeremy's character.
what can we help you there with, Miss Saris?
So once we're in a different room, isolated from the others, Saris pulls up the eye patch to reveal a perfectly functional eye. And in doing so reveals the sewn insignia of the Inquisition on the other side of the eye patch.
Which the symbol of the Inquisition is a stylized eye with 3 crossed bars and a skull set dead center in it. In this particular case, yeah, like the letter I, yeah. In this particular case, it is engraved in silver because you are an agent, not an actual Inquisitor.
Yeah.
But that is an immediate symbol that everyone in the Imperium knows and knows what it means.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, pleased to be of service then, I suppose.
Flips it back down. Yes, and I would, because we are heading into dangerous territory against potential cultists, I would like to requisition your services for the duration. Good adept.
All right. Have I ever been requisitioned before, GM?
A couple of times, usually by the Magos, but like
Right.
considering this is supposedly an Inquisition agent, the Magos
Right.
probably won't have any complaints about it.
Right.
Or if they do, they'll keep it to themselves.
Right.
I've already
Shall we?
I've already pulled out a communicator and have forwarded the Inquisition requisition request to your superiors.
Fantastic. Well, it just so happens that my Magos said those 2 bodies were the last of my duties for the day. So I presume that places me entirely at your disposal, ma'am.
And for the foreseeable future. Well, we have had a lovely
I don't know.
conversation.
Dinner at my family's house is in 2 nights, and they might expect you there.
We have just had a lovely conversation about the potential applications of various prostheses to my missing eye, which we will consider consulting at a later date. Am I understood?
Crystal clear. Kind of like your comrade's bone structure.
Yes. Well then, shall we?
And Aristarchus is like, well, this is turning into an interesting day, and
Also-
follows Ceres out.
It's gonna get more interesting. Don't worry.
The Onyx Path is just raided with a party of 8. Hello?
Hey!
Pardon the mess on the overlay. We're not quite finished constructing it yet.
Laurel is standing right outside the door to the right.
Which door? The door that we exited through, or the door
The-
that
the door- The door of the room you guys.
Okay.
In case you need
Bodyguard.
Yeah, bodyguard.
Well, you're a quick and sneaky one. I'll give you that much.
Well, Tendris pays me enough.
Right.
Laurel.
Laurel.
Laurel, the good mechanicus is going to be joining us as medical advisor and person of some expertise, if you wouldn't mind.
I will lend my services to all of you then.
Much appreciated.
No, I think it's going to be a bit more the other way around. If you happen to get tangled up into something messy, I'll be there to try and patch you up, I suppose. And he kind of wrinkles his eyebrows over his monocle and ocular implant as he suddenly realizes, I've never operated on anybody who's not human before. This might be interesting.
She will mirror the same look of, I don't know if I want that touching me.
So
Noted.
a thing happened in the intervening time between Remy making their way up and this all occurring. Tina,
Yeah.
while you were waiting,
Huh.
you noticed a thing,
Cool.
which is there's a series of highways in the Underhive that lead like up past checkpoints, and some of them lead up into the main body of the city.
Mm-hmm. Fancy
What-
roads.
While you're sitting around, you're sort of watching things and looking around. One thing you pick up on is a series of trucks that begin to move down the road in a convoy. which wouldn't normally be interesting to you, except for the number of people hanging off the sides of those trucks with guns.
Interesting.
And as you look, you see that, as far as you know of the Hive City, they're heading up some of those routes that head up to the mid city.
Ooh.
There's probably going to be a fight that way.
Ooh. Well,
that's where Remy went. So
yeah, I'm going in the same direction. Okay. I'm gonna stop by the bar. I'm gonna tell Bob, was it?
Yeah.
That I'm gonna follow the trucks. If Remy comes back and asks.
Bob, who was like, that's not okay, sure. All right.
You're the
Excellent.
best.
Have a good one, Tina.
I'll give him some more teeth. He's earned it.
He just takes the teeth.
Do you take teeth that you had saved, or do you punch a few teeth out to give to him?
I'll get some. No, don't worry about that. I'm gonna get some more teeth soon.
Guys hanging off those trucks look like they had mouths full of them.
Yeah,
Human skulls are loot boxes for orcs.
exactly. And then I'm gonna follow after the trucks.
Fast forwarding a bit. Remy.
Yep.
You're standing outside.
Yep.
Probably having a low stick while you wait.
Little down, yeah, across the street, like a little bit down, because those people I'm trying to avoid, like there's one person there I need to talk to. Everybody else I'm trying to avoid are going to be coming out that door. So I'm not like right next to it.
Roll me awareness.
Okay. Awareness. I think that's 2.
That's 4, actually.
That's 4.
Yeah,
Sweet.
because
with a crit.
You have your wrath die, which will give you another
Right.
another glory. You're racking up some glory today.
Yeah.
We need to get it. I need to get into a fight.
Oh, believe me. So you hear 3 engines that begin to simultaneously close in on this point in the street from different directions.
That's not good.
One of them
Don't see any
is
way
behind
that's
you.
good. Okay. Is there somewhere a doorway for me to duck into? Just get out of the way.
Yeah, like
whole
you can
thing.
like this is a busy street with like there's 2 main roads and then the one behind you. And there are housing blocks everywhere. So you can just like find a door and just duck inside of it.
Perfect.
And
I'm
you watch
just keeping an eye out then.
Cover up.
you watch as 3 trucks converge on the Medicaid Primaris facility from different angles, from every road angle. And people with guns get out of them.
Anybody familiar to me?
Roll me
Or
investigation.
style, like what gang? Any? Yeah.
Yeah, just roll me
Any
investigation
idea?
real quick to see how much you can
Investigation?
pick off of them.
Hold on. I'm checking one thing here really quick.
Oh wait, what should our glory count be at right now?
5. It's at
5.
where it should.
Yep.
Is it 5? Because Remy also got 1, and then I got 1, which put
That
us to
was after
4,
the 5 was.
And then
Yeah,
Well,
you-
it
Marcus
was
got
4
1,
out. Yeah, I don't know.
so we should be at 6, I think.
No, I think we're 5. Because there were
Can-
some glory rolled that wasn't successes. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Very 5.
Use a intellect based skill kit to notice, recall or notice something about the car. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I still don't know exactly how this works because system, but can I use my deductive talent in addition to this?
Yes. So yeah,
Okay.
like we'll call using your deductive talent will help out with this a lot. So just go ahead and make an intellect skill
Okay.
test of your choice. That would be appropriate.
I mean, that would the one that would probably be most appropriate. I think it's just I just roll intellect though, right? Intellect based skill.
Intellect based skill test.
Okay,
so
so
yeah,
investigation.
probably either investigation or scholar.
Great.
That's enough. So yeah, so let me read the full text of deductive real quick.
So how it to recall or notice something about a target. Target can be anything from blah 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 blah. It can be anything. When you pass the test, the GM may give you information based on the skill you use to make the test. You also gain plus rank bonus dice to any test made against that target that utilizes this information, and you
Okay.
can give the bonus to an ally if you communicate it.
So you notice a few things about these people.
Okay.
One, they are moving with what you would call mob guts, which is to say they only feel like they've got the advantage here because they have a large number of people.
Right.
You don't suspect these people are particularly well trained. You suspect that they are here because whoever's in charge told them to gather up a bunch of dudes and go shoot up this place. Two, they're not any of the big three gangs.
Okay.
You immediately know that because any of the big three would not be dumb enough to try and attack the Medicae Primaris because that's how your people get treated. And two, are not wearing any kind of indicators or clothing that would normally mark out any of the big three gangs.
Okay.
So that immediately tells you this is some kind of up and comer.
So
who is too stupid to know better.
Right. All right. So question about the Vox device, the hand Vox. Does it, the way that Voxes read in the book, you communicate with anyone within a certain distance
who has a frequency that has one and is on a frequency that you know.
Right.
Which as a hand Vox, you can also make direct calls if you know a specific person's Vox number.
Right. Would I, having the background that I have, be familiar with any of the channels that I might recognize people that were in that room could potentially be on?
You trying to hack into the Medicae like PA system?
I'm sure, or that.
I'm gonna say roll me cunning.
Okay.
Isn't there like a servo skull still floating behind you right now?
Oh, there is. There is still a servo skull that's following you.
Cunning.
Damn.
Nice.
So two things. The obvious thing that would definitely help clear this mob up without too much trouble would be the Steel Watch.
Right. But no.
And two, you probably do. In fact, you can probably just take the Vox frequency off of the servo skull who is following you.
Fair enough.
And use it to communicate with anyone inside the facility.
I will I will get that from him.
Not to be an asshole, but what's that symbol on the wrath die mean?
Oh, sorry. Yes. That's a complication.
Okay.
Yay!
Which
Sorry, Jeremy.
means
No.
the first thing that happens is I gain a ruin.
Woo.
If it was gonna be anybody.
The second thing that happens is something goes wrong. You still succeed, you still get that information, but something goes wrong. We can choose to roll randomly. You can tell me what you think would be a good idea, or I can come up with something.
The servitor starts speaking in tongues. It doesn't have a tongue. That's the hard part.
I mean, when I try to get the frequency, it starts beeping too loudly and attracts the wrong attention.
Oh, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page for your. I'm so excited for you to meet my next character.
So as you're looking and getting that frequency, it starts to beep loudly and angrily.
Shut up.
I think
Shut up.
I think an hour and a half is our quickest start to. Can't wait for you to meet my next character. So far, in Final Films history.
And as that happens, you look over, and while one of the gangs is throwing a Molotov at the doors of the Medicaid facility, another one is turning to see what the noise is.
I am ducking. I am. You know what? No, I'm fucking just moving quickly as I can in the other direction as I start going through the handbox. Hello, whoever is in there, you're about to be attacked by a gang, so just giving you the heads up.
And as you say that, you hear bullets coming over the air past you.
Also, your servo skull may be dead.
Don't you fucking hurt Tiberius. He didn't do anything.
I'm not doing shit to him. I'm just not sticking around him.
as you run for cover. Inside, as the group of you are convening, the group of you have sort of gathered to talk information. And Aristarchus, Yorick goes off with a Vox signal, and a voice that you do not recognize says, "You're about to be attacked."
And that's just broadcast in Galactic Basic or whatever. Like, everybody hears that.
Low Gothic. Everyone hears
right.
that.
Mm-hmm. That's very peculiar.
And then you hear a crash from the front doors of the Medicaid facility.
And like a woof of flame, I assume.
Yeah, of fire.
You're welcome.
That's very out of the ordinary.
I believe we should see to the building's defense now. Sarah says.
Does this thing have turrets on it by any chance? And by this thing, I mean the building.
It's a Medicaid facility.
More.
It could have more, yes. It could have many more. It's not typically the kind of thing that people would attack because anyone living on this planet gets healed here.
Right.
So it's not typically very heavily fortified. That said, there are some Steel Watch who are typically on duty here, and you immediately hear the sound of an alarm going off. Which tells you the Steel Watch is probably being mobilized to try and help fight this.
Okay. Aristarchus just looks over to Saris because he's not in charge anymore. If he ever was, I don't know.
She'll gesture towards the doors. Lead the way, good Mechanicus.
He'll start walking off. He starts to pull out his las pistol, which is very kind of ceremoniously positioned where it should be. Does not look like it's been drawn maybe ever. But he'll slowly kind of get that
reach over,
unsnapped
put a hand on his
and pulled out.
shoulder as he's doing that, to wherever the defenders at the facility are, not directly into the firefight.
That would be where I am headed.
Oh, misunderstood. Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it very much.
You're not about to go fight. You're supposed to heal us.
Which is, well, anyway, let's go down this way. And actually,
just out of curiosity, am I still hearing all of this?
Oh, probably. The Vox signal is not done yet.
I am 100% spying then.
Actually, do I know any sort of sub-level accesses that pop up out in the street somewhere that might get us in a better position?
Roll me Scholar with an extra 2 bonus dice.
Okay.
Brilliant.
That is 5 with
that's
a
another
crit.
glory.
Yeah.
You're getting very close to maximum glory.
Maximum glory.
which I believe is the number of players plus 2.
Yes.
So yeah, when you hit 8 glory, any extra glory you gain will be just wasted until you start
Okay.
spending it.
Well, we better start spending this shit then.
Well, we're about to get into a fight, which is where we spend our glory.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Aristarchus will basically sort of roll through a facility blueprint in his head and then be like, do I know any cogitators that get us access down there that
I will say, would you like to shift that exalted because you would have only needed 3?
Yeah.
What would you like to shift it for?
Let me look at the things that I can shift exalted on. Shifting. Here we go.
You can say, you can change whatever answer Shani's about to give you to yes, there is.
Well, you can use a rat if you wanted to do that, but
Yeah.
like with one shift, you could gain information, improve quality, improve speed, or get another point of glory.
I would say yeah, what is the fastest subterranean access that would put us on the other side of this fight from where they're expecting resistance for gain information, I suppose.
So the fastest, so you know several ways, and with that extra shift, you also know the fastest way. There is very specifically a sub-level access that is very nearby because it was originally designed as a way for injured enforcers of the Steel Watch or of the Arbides to bring people in from under street level without drawing attention.
Mhm.
And it has access points like throughout the roadways that lead all the way to the enforcer station.
Okay.
But in particular, some of those access points are directly outside on the opposite street.
Okay. Yeah. Aristarchus will just start guiding them that direction then. These doors will take us down underneath the street level, and then we can pop up on the outside without them having to maybe get a look at us on approach.
That works.
You hear the sound of gunfire as the battle has been joined.
Oh, and they're shooting shit now.
The Steel Watch has engaged the whoever these rabble rousers are.
Stay behind me. Directly to Cirrus.
Yep.
Or Cirrus.
I will
And so
stay behind my bodyguard.
the group of you walk through these previously sterile hallways that are now beginning to fill with smoke. And make your way down through a sealed door that has a number of code readers and different access panels adjacent to it. I would like Aristarchus, please give me a tech roll.
Okay.
Access the machine spirit of this door and open it.
All right. Nope, no complications listed yet. So okay, just flat tech.
Do you not also get a thing for being a tech adept for dealing with machine spirits?
Maybe, but I got 8 with another glory, so I'll use
you're at 8 glory.
so
And the difficulty was going to be 3, so
okay, I'll use all the shifts to make it fast.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, very quickly, you just sort of raise your symbol of the Omnissiah and mutter a few prayers and smash a couple of keys, and the door slides open.
Lovely doing business with your spirits. All hail the Omnissiah, and we're off.
So you guys, you're now in a tunnel access. This tunnel branches off in a couple of different ways, but you know that the particular one that you're probably aiming for is just a few meters down this way. You just there's an exit that will lead you to the opposite side of the street, basically from where this attack started from. A couple things happen in unison. One, You guys find that door and exit it. 2, Remy
Walks up to a door.
walks up to a door that opens.
Excellent.
Fucking of course.
I
3.
recognize your voice.
3, Tina.
Yes.
Tears on the sea.
You hear Remy say, "Of course," as you begin to round a corner.
Remy!
What is the
Do you
Emperor's
not
name?
understand what stay in the
There's
bar?
a fight happening! This is happening right outside.
Okay, this is awkward.
I'm filling up
Really
my
quick as
entire
a
Pokedex
question.
today.
Would I recognize Blair on sight?
Almost certainly, like
Okay.
as the
Like I'm
as,
familiar
like,
with.
you are familiar enough with the gang to recognize their leader.
Awesome.
Does she recognize Remy at all?
Possibly.
Possibly. Roll me a
Leadership?
no. Roll me a
Oh yeah, no, that's based off willpower.
roll me an awareness roll.
What are influence rolls used for?
Influence rolls are used to requisition things. That's how you.
Oh, okay,
get
never mind. Okay. I was wondering if that would work for some of these.
We're already full on glory, so we're running out here. By the way, one of the things you can spend
Wasting
glory.
it.
One of the
Get extra dice.
get extra dice on your rolls. Yeah, if you're not confident in how many dice you got. So with 3 successes, yes, you recognize Remy as a regular informant and getter of things.
He's
Who
a
can
fixer.
typically he's a fixer
Yep.
basically. That is popular with some of the gangs.
So this is awkward. Tina, Blair, Tina, you two need to talk. Maybe not when there's a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Also, hi everyone, there's a fight out there. You may know that I are already because I told you.
I'll be back.
As you
There's
say
not
that,
going to be a fight out there for long.
as you say that, a grenade goes off, and a wall nearby collapses.
Excellent. I am.
And stumbling from the wreckage are 5 of these thugs who seem to be fleeing from the main body of the fight and seem to have stumbled their way into your group.
Wrong direction, flamethrower.
She's got it.
So
She got it covered.
we are going to pick up on this fight next week. We'll keep our glory and ruin counts here for right now because you haven't actually finished this encounter. But because we had to cut this a little short because we were short an hour, we will pick up with this fight next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
With your first fight in this system.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.